Welcome to another episode of the End2End podcast. I'm your host, Jonathon Howe. With me co-hosting again is the awesome co-host of the last couple weeks.
You want another adjective in there, or are you just gonna
I don't know. I don't really have another.
Keep ripping it.
Yeah.
You just wait over there. You're not even introduced yet.
Talented, with a beautiful head of hair, Colin Ward.
Yes, Colin Ward. The beautiful flow. The beautiful flow is out right now.
Big fan of red.
Yes.
All his hats are red.
Go Wings.
Wearing his London Knights
he had
hat.
to get that in there. He had to get some Go Wings in there.
Definitely needs his red headphones too.
And this motor mouth that I have on here now that you
Wheeler.
can probably don't recognize his voice.
Never heard of
that would
him.
be Sam. Is it Wheeler?
It's not Wheeler. It's Weller.
Sam Weller, everybody.
Well, I didn't know what the podcast was called, so why don't we?
Oh, it's the End2End podcast.
It's not the post to post. I wasn't sure if it was a nod to football or to hockey.
It's
a goalie
nod
slides
to everything.
post to post, but
No, it's
you go post to post in
it's
football.
End2End, like
Definitely
an End2End
End-to-End.
rush.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's
yeah.
a nod to curling.
So Sam won't be back next week. Sam's not gonna be back next week.
I'll be back.
You got.
Yeah,
The fans that you have, they're all gonna be asking.
We'll
for
talk about
Hashtag
it.
vote Wheeler.
Well,
I thought
we'll
you were
talk
putting this on
about it.
Instagram Live. Why aren't we doing that?
My phone's dying, and I left my charger at home, so you can just.
You could use my charger if you weren't a peasant and had a LG.
Oh,
or
here we
whatever
go,
the hell
Mister. What do you got? An iPhone
Of
X?
course, I have an iPhone 8.
Oh, okay.
I don't have my iPhone X with me. What do you think I am?
I
You
don't
think
know.
I'm
You're calling me a
YouTuber in
peasant.
California?
You're
Is that
calling
what
me
I
a peasant.
I don't have you money.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You
we're
know,
not
now,
allowed to
all right. So you're already putting me to work with the swearing. All right.
swear. No, sorry.
This is
Comes
great.
on once, eh? Comes on once.
Comes on once.
Yeah, comes on once and just ruins the whole
Tries to
thing.
be a hero.
There's no. I didn't know
When
the
do you
vibe
leave
wasn't
again?
swearing.
Don't you have to go? Don't you have to
I
go
don't
do
have
your
to go.
assignment, your test?
Dude, I still have 40 minutes.
I thought you were at 4:20.
Shit, I don't know. Pass me my laptop. C-Man.
This is a struggle bus already.
C-Man
off the
W.
hop. C-Man W.
Yeah, we call my other friend Clayton Ginn C-Man G. Shout out to Clayton. Probably not. This is not live on the radio, is it?
No, it's a podcast.
He didn't even listen to me when I was on the radio.
I
Guy's a jerk.
yeah.
Some friend you are, right?
I was on with you. I was in the studio.
Yeah, you were on. Yeah, it's more your show than mine. You were the
It
co-host.
was. I was
I don't
co-hosting.
know.
This is true.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. Oops. Sorry about that.
That's fine. This podcast needed sound effects. That's fine.
High,
That's
high
the first
maintenance here.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Why don't
right.
we get into things?
Can we get into some hardcore sports talk? Are you done motor mouthing over there?
No.
No.
That's why I'm on the podcast.
Of course. Well, all right. So, Sam, before you quickly have to run off to do your test and come back, let's quickly get into a little introduction about yourself. I like to ask, who's your favorite teams? What's your favorite sports to cheer for? Like, tell us a little bit about yourself as a sports fan.
I like the Leafs. Big Leafs fan. Ooh, there's a bubble just floated out of my mouth. That's interesting. I'm kind of dehydrated. Big Leafs fan.
Such an idiot here.
This guy's such an idiot here. I don't really watch other sports, honestly. Like, I follow them all. I read articles and whatnot, but I don't watch basketball. Maybe I watch like 40 Blue Jays games a year, other than me wearing a Blue Jay. Why don't you talk? What do you have?
Colin,
what do
why
you
are
have
you
to say?
I just want to say.
Have a chirp, let's
how
hear
many cups have you saw the Leafs win?
I don't know. Why don't you shut your mouth?
2008's too loud right now.
All right,
Got-
buddy,
wow.
you're in the
Cup
basement
rings.
right now. It doesn't
Cup
really
rings.
matter, does it?
25 straight.
Why don't
buddy.
you're just like a fucking Montreal Canadiens fan. You're
Maple
gonna-
Leaf fan.
I didn't mean to say Maple Leafs fan, but we don't live in the past. We like to live about how good our team is now, even when they
Hey,
sucked for the
all
last
in for
10 years.
I'm gonna just say, as the Sabres and Oilers fan, I don't like to
Sabres
talk
and
about the past.
Oilers fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely hold on to that second leg, eh?
When I
You're
had,
doing great too.
I don't know. The last time I checked, we had a player that called the Great One in Edmonton, and then we also have McJesus. And
It's a good thing he moved out of Edmonton too. He's living in LA.
Yeah,
flying
well-
out to Toronto. Oh, that actually reminds me. I was in Niagara on the Lake. He's got a new winery there.
Yes, Gretzky's Winery is.
Gretzky's Winery, yeah.
And he's making whiskey now too.
Do
Actually,
you ever go to Niagara on the Lake?
I do. I mean, I live in Niagara Falls, so it's kind of like.
Is it
a
close
thing
to
do.
Niagara Falls?
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes away. Like
I honestly didn't know that.
it's Niagara on the Lake. It's the next one over.
No, I didn't realize that.
And then like St. Catharines a little bit farther northish.
In my house for the first like 15 years of my life, we had this painting of the Prince of Wales.
Yes.
The hotel. That's where I
Yeah.
stayed this weekend. And so we're rolling up to this Prince of Wales. Like that building looks so familiar.
And you're like,
My mom's
oh.
like, do you know why it looks familiar? I'm like, no, I have no idea. I don't think I've ever been here before. She's like, we had a painting of that forever. Like, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, that little
Pretty
strip's
odd.
quite a nice little drive.
It's
there.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Went to the cigar shop across the yard. Not a big cigar fan.
No, it's not my thing. But
It's not
like,
my thing. Yeah.
you know.
Doesn't make me puke or anything, but it's just,
So Sam, the
So
Leaf
there
fan. Sam, the hockey fan.
Close it is.
Sam, the just general watcher of sports and not really much else. I don't know. Doesn't really pay
I
attention
don't have
to.
much of a personality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, he just likes to talk. That's all.
it's pretty much.
But
it.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what we do here in the End2End podcast is talk. So, let's kick it off with your Leafs and let's talk about what are they going to do at the deadline. We're getting close. It's the NHL deadline time.
Well, news saying that Levo didn't even request a trade, so it's likely nothing.
yeah,
Shostakhov's back on the IR or Robida Island, if as it's coined.
I think it's going to be quite a busy trade deadline for some reason. I actually have hope that there's actually going to be some trades this year. Detroit's going to be sellers,
Yeah,
obviously.
Green's gonna go.
Green's gone.
That is huge for.
So
for the Red
what
Wings.
would you
Yeah.
like as a return for Green, where you could be like, you know what, actually that can justify that. That's cool. That wasn't a waste of a trade.
Well, I'd try to push for the biggest thing you can get, right? It'd be nice if they could get a first, but they won't get a first. So it'd be good if they got a second, and then a prospect, a mediocre prospect, middle of the pack. And that'd be perfect, I think, for Green, because he's had an all-star year.
What's
He's
Green got
putting
left
up
on his
points.
contract?
This is last year.
This is his last
UFA
year.
this summer,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's the money like?
Detroit's going to have to eat.
Eat some.
What they sign?
Okay, we're back. A little technical difficulties there.
What were we talking about when it cut out?
We were talking about what Mike Green's cap hit is, and I personally don't have that in front of me right now.
I'm gonna say it's 4 schmil.
4 smell.
Schmil? Cap friendly.
Great podcasting right here.
Is it cap friendly or is it what's the? I always
It
forget which
was
one it-
Cap Geek. I think
Cap Geek is the one that folded.
Yeah, because the guy passed
Yeah.
away.
You know what they need? Is that what happened?
Yeah, the guy who ran the website died.
So why'd they take down the website instead of just
Because
letting
nobody
somebody
else ran it. It was just him. He created it and ran it himself.
That guy is a brilliant man.
Why do you have one of our picks? When did Buffalo make a Detroit?
Scott
with
Wilson.
Detroit? Oh, right. That's right.
I was gonna say, what is that? Vanek? didn't Vanek play for the Wings briefly?
That's a free agent.
All right. He's making
$6
$6 million.
That's
So
what I was going to say, actually.
That's
Where's
not
it-
a-
oh yeah, where's Vanek going this year?
yeah, I know, right? He's just rotating around the entire league. I feel like in LA or something is gonna pick
I'm
him up.
surprised you went
Why
to
would
Florida
LA
last
pick him
year.
up? LA's not even gonna make the playoffs.
I don't know, man. They might squeak in. You
They
never
might.
know.
They'll probably squeak in.
I don't know. And if they get in, they'll be dangerous too.
Oh, yeah, goalie,
LA is
Defense.
terrifying.
good forwards.
I don't want to.
See, I think the best acquisition
Leafs
LA is
don't
gonna
make
get.
that.
I know. Shut your mouth. That's not what I was talking about. I meant if they were in the Pacific Division.
See, if the
Leafs
best
getting beat out to Boston.
the best acquisition LA is gonna get is gonna be Jeff Carter coming back from injury. That's gonna be the one that's kind of like they're sitting at 65 points, 1 point out right now.
Go
With,
after Vanek.
yeah,
That's the same thing with Chicago too. Chicago's got to get it. If
Chicago's
doesn't
got
make the
issues,
move-
man. They're 10 points out.
Yeah, I don't
they're
think
gonna
they'll
make.
make
They're gonna do something
I
at the
think they're
deadline,
done.
you'd
They're
say.
done.
No, they're not done.
They're done.
So you're saying the Wings ain't
Chicago,
done?
10 points out.
That's a little bit different. They're 12 points back. The Leafs are 10 points up on a playoff spot right now. They're
They're
not.
10 points out.
That's true. And
The
also
Leafs
the
always
Leafs are
collapse.
third.
Yeah,
place.
if you're gonna sit there
Are
and
they
say the
third
Leafs,
place in the conference still.
The Leafs will lose about 500
you're gonna sit there and have all this
confidence.
confidence about the Leafs, and they're 10 points out or 10 points up on Carolina.
Okay,
Or-
the lock of the century is that the 3 teams that are in the Atlantic right now are going to fucking make that. I swear.
Watch your profanity.
That's just what's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, because they're not gonna get knocked out by anybody. The closest team is Detroit, and they're not 10 points back. They're literally
They're
like
just a dog poo team.
they're
It's
literally 18 points back of the Leafs.
Oh, the
what?
Leafs are- the Leafs
Such a
are-
tire fire.
The Leafs are going to lose about 10-0 to end the year.
Did you like my little nod at the tire
Yeah, I
fire?
like the
because
tire
it's a
fire.
tire.
Yeah.
Oh.
Motor City,
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
Detroit Rock
savage.
City.
Detroit Rock
How
City.
embarrassing is the Atlantic Division? Literally, the bottom 5
Dude, it's
teams
not
in the East
embarrassing.
are all Atlantic teams.
Yeah, but the top 3 in the conference are all in the Atlantic Division as well.
that's
Could
a
be
disparity.
Buffalo.
Yeah, it's Buffalo is just a garbage.
Yeah.
organization.
Dog
Poor-
show.
and now Eichel's
Maybe
out
relocate.
again.
It's absolutely over.
That's Buffalo for you.
Yeah.
You can get
Eichel.
spun. You're cut. You are actually cut from this podcast.
Move them to Hamilton.
Why would no?
Moving
Why
to
would
Quebec
they-
City.
Yeah, Seattle.
Attendance is down. They only got 16,000.
What's we were there the other night. They had 16,000 out of an 18,000 seat arena. That's great
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's
for a
better than
team
that.
in last place.
Wait, how
on a
many?
Thursday
How many is
night.
Ottawa putting up?
Ottawa is only 5 points ahead.
Ottawa
Of
is worse.
No, how many
Attendance?
seats are in
Oh,
there?
I don't know. They
Well,
took
they
out
tarped
like
it,
500
yeah.
seats to start the season. So
I think it was like 1,000, wasn't it? Like 1,100.
yeah,
they
they
put it.
they put a tarp over half of it. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, they tarped them.
they tarped a
Yeah, it
bunch of
started to
seats.
look like a baseball field or the Rogers Center. You guys been to the Rogers Center? I'm
Oh,
assuming.
Yeah, but they don't tarp them for Jays games.
They tarp them for the Jays game. They don't
No,
tarp them
that's the
for the
Argos.
Jays game. They tarp them because they're blue and the ball will get lost in it. They can't sell seats.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
only in center field. Yeah,
Yeah,
for the
that's what I'm
batter's
talking
eye.
Yeah.
They don't
batter's
need to
eye.
tarp. How many seats are in the Rogers Center?
Rogers Center's like
50,000?
60 something, 60,000.
Yeah.
But I think the big buyer at the deadline is going to be. I feel like Nashville wants to make some moves, but I don't know why.
Vegas won't do anything.
Apparently, there's talks that Rick Nash is.
Gonna go to Nashville.
Well, yeah. I'm assuming that he would be on the list. He would have put them on his list. How many teams were on his list? 12?
I think he got 12. He got to select that he could say yes. I can I'll accept a trade there.
That kind of power. The NHL gives their players so much power.
Yeah, the contracts.
go.
Like, look at the NBA. There's
Drives me
nobody
insane.
in the NBA gets no trade clauses, and their trade deadline was crazy.
Do they have any players that have no trade clause?
I mean, like I'm sure like
LeBron.
LeBron's and like guys
no,
like
LeBron
that do.
doesn't have a no trade clause.
Yeah, but he has a lot to say.
Yeah, well, he's not gonna. Yeah, he's not.
It's a superstar
They're
driven
not gonna
league.
send him to Denver. He's not gonna go be a Nugget.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, look at what happened to the Cavs. They literally rebuilt their entire team, like transitioning to basketball now.
They
I
really
guess.
I think
rebuilt
they've
their
improved.
team.
I
mean, they
just
didn't really
acquired
rebuild, but they
LeBron.
shipped out, like, half
they
the team.
almost bottomed out. They had Andrew Wiggins and traded him when they signed LeBron.
See, I laughed at the beginning of the year because I saw this guy when like Cleveland was going after like Derrick Rose and like Wade and all these guys, and you were looking at the team,
Older.
and I looked at all these names and I'm like, all these guys are kind of bordering on being has-beens. And they built this team, and
Like
this one guy I had on Facebook, he was tripping. He's like, "This is the deepest bench I've ever seen. Like, how many All-Stars were on this team?" And like losing his mind. And I'm like, "Yeah, but they were All-Stars 10 years ago."
Yeah, but then they won a title.
No,
Yeah, those
not
guys
with like
weren't there.
went with
Wade.
Wade and Rose and everybody. Those guys all came this year.
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
I'm talking about like
Yeah,
this year
this
after
year.
they
I
traded
thought
out
you meant
Kyrie.
after they acquired LeBron.
No. I'm talking like this season going into this year. They took
Yeah.
in They took in Wade. They took in Rose. They made the Kyrie
Forgot
Irving
about Rose.
trade.
Like, I should watch basketball. I don't know why I don't.
I don't know, man. You're missing
Let's
some
go.
entertaining stuff.
Where
Like the
have you
Raptors
been?
are.
Well, yeah, basketball's very entertaining. It's just the actual like the storyline of the season. There's nothing. It's like the
Yeah,
because
because you're just waiting for the playoffs.
Yeah.
At this point,
that's all that matters. You know who's gonna make the playoffs. You know who's
as a
gonna win the
Raptors fan,
playoffs.
you knew the Raptors. You knew they were going to make the playoffs right away. Like
Yeah.
they were like, okay, we're
Yeah,
probably a playoff
Boston,
team.
Cleveland.
Yeah, Boston's making the playoffs.
Cleveland.
Cleveland's
Cleveland's
obviously
gonna
making
make it
the
'cause it's
playoffs,
LeBron.
'cause
Those
LeBron doesn't
three for
miss. He's
sure.
probably, like honestly, I wouldn't even be shocked if it's Cleveland in the finals.
Yeah, but then that's the thing, right? It's the Eastern Conference. Like it's those three teams.
That's
It's
the
Boston,
most
Cleveland,
drama
Toronto.
Yeah.
And if nobody else, nobody else is really that relevant. Like maybe Milwaukee because of Giannis Antetokounmpo, but like,
Did you see them sign up for?
yeah, yeah, that was a pretty good little inside joke. I think Trey did that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was quite funny.
It's a good
Um,
trade.
But yeah, speaking of the NBA, I guess their trade deadline actually already passed us by,
Thursday.
and
That game, I didn't know that was coming even.
yeah, I thought it was after the All-Star game.
It's kind of weird
Like the
that like, their
NHL's.
season starts later and then their All-Star game like hasn't
Is
even
later.
happened yet, but they have their trade deadline already. I was like, what? I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's weird how it works out like that. The Raptors were reportedly being or interested in DeAndre Jordan out of the Clippers.
Yeah,
I'm kind of glad they didn't. make the move.
Colin told me that DeAndre Jordan he got traded to Toronto.
No, that was a
like,
report.
what the hell?
I told you the report.
Yeah, but you didn't say. Everybody else in the room thought that you meant that.
Yeah,
too.
I really
no,
thought
no.
I was like,
I was
whoa,
like,
that
shut
actually
up.
happened.
No,
No,
they didn't.
no.
Well, who
I was
did they
so
have to
worried,
give
like,
for
who-
DeAndre, JV.
Yeah, because what are you gonna
They can't trade.
You gonna give up
Valanciunas.
Pirtle?
Valen-
Oh,
Sorry,
and
boys.
there is
Not your
Sam.
motorsport minute.
No, yeah, we wish. No, maybe he'll be actually in charge of setting an alarm this time when we get to the motorsport.
I
minute.
did good last
What's
time.
the motorsport minute?
Oh, I'll explain after the break. And we're back, and we've kicked Motormouth out of the studio.
Wheeler's gone.
Wheeler is gone. That's Wheller. We're just bugging him. It's a little inside joke again.
That's what you're calling him?
Yeah, we're calling him Wheeler because he sits there and embraces it when we call it. He's like, no, it's not really my name.
No, he does not like it.
Oh yeah, he's really just rattled. Now we're now joined by Nolan, Sam's roommates and a fellow radio broadcast student at Mohawk with Colin and I.
Oh, yeah.
So let's do the little introduction part with you here. Favorite teams, favorite sports, what you watch, what you care about as a sports fan.
Mainly hockey. That's kind of my forte. I like basketball as well. I'm getting more into baseball, but I'm mainly a hockey guy.
I feel like you kind of like past baseball's interesting time right now. Like,
yeah, I was trying to watch most of the games last season for the Jays, and it really quickly made me lose interest.
Yeah, it was hard because they just were so awful. Like, they really were not that good of a team. And right off the hop, too. Like, it's like, oh, all right, we lost 10 in a row. Like, it's basically over.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's going to be... It'll be interesting to see how they play out. We were just talking about, speaking of you're saying you like basketball, we were talking about the NBA trade deadline, how crazy it was, and just talking about how Cleveland not necessarily rebuilt their team, but they really shipped out most of the veterans on that core that were supposed to be the leaders in the room, like guys like Derrick Rose, and Isaiah Thomas was definitely a failed experiment.
They basically got a whole new team around LeBron.
Yeah,
obviously.
I think like they got more athletic, they got younger, and they got a little better defensively, which are all things they really needed to do.
Oh, they've improved.
They've improved. But I still look at the Raptors, and I look at the Raptors bench. Like the other night they were playing, I think they were playing against Charlotte. Was it? They played Charlotte over the weekend.
Yeah, that was
last night. So, and the starters didn't even play in the fourth quarter. Like, that's some, like, San Antonio type stuff. That's some Golden State type stuff. The bench was just so deep that they were like, well, screw it. Like, let's just play.
Well, they're legit.
Well, that's really the advantage that the Raptors are going to have, is that they are deeper than
any other team.
Any other team that they're going to...
I mean, like, we'll see what happens when they go up against Boston, or if they do get to Boston.
Well, they did do them last week, though.
Yeah, but if you have Kyrie, who's going to play, like, 40 minutes, you know what I mean? Like, if he's on the floor most of the time, then I think that's where Boston might have an edge. But that, again, is Kyrie going to be able to do that by himself for 7 games? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to be able to do it.
Got to remember, though, he's playing 40 minutes, so then Van Vliet, those guys are rested. They come in. Irving's tired.
Yeah, they can take advantage.
Yeah, and you saw that the other day there.
I like this Raptors team a lot. I'm very excited about the playoffs. And we were talking about, too, the idea that the playoffs, the NBA is kind of hard to follow because, I mean, other than the playoffs, nothing's that exciting because we know basically in the East, you know, the top 3 teams. Yeah. Everything else, it doesn't matter because they're probably not going to get beaten. And in the West, it's like 3 or 4 teams too. Like,
it's been very predictable the last couple of years. This year, I think it's been a little bit better just because Cleveland's kind of been a disaster.
I like OKC's kind of back on the rise too. Like, they're a little bit better. Houston, San Antonio's kind of. I feel like they're sliding back, but then they get in the playoffs and they kind of play like how Popovich wants them to play, and suddenly they're a lot better. It's like, so I don't know. I like that Western Conference. Do you think anybody can beat Golden State, Nolan?
No.
No?
Nobody in the West, nobody in the East.
It doesn't matter. They're so good. I don't know. I mean, like, they talk about, like, in hockey, how, like, Pittsburgh, maybe, like, all the amount of hockey they've played over the past couple years is finally catching up to them. Same with, like, Chicago and all these teams that have made these consistent playoff runs. But it doesn't feel like Golden State's going to go through that same thing.
They got, like, 4 guys that are superstars, so...
Yeah, especially... It's not really the same in basketball because they'll fully get rested several games throughout the course of the regular season.
Yeah, it's not like Crosby gets a night off.
Yeah, and then when they get to the... Also, it's non-contact, which hockey isn't.
Yeah.
Or hockey is contact.
I mean, those playoffs in the NHL they just wear on you.
Yeah, and Crosby and the Penguins and then Chicago, they're going to like 7-game series, and that doesn't happen for Golden State because they swept every team that they faced last year.
So we've made a little adjustment on the podcast. We're recording on a Monday actually now. Trying to do Mondays from now on. I think it's just easier to recap the weekend and look forward rather than do it on like a Thursday and weekends are old news and you're too close to the weekend to really like preview and think about stuff. So I think the Monday format's gonna stay, but because of that, we actually missed talking about Super Bowl. So we got to touch a little bit on that.
Eagles.
Yeah, my Patriots did not quite get it done.
Our Patriots.
Oh yeah, Nolan,
I'm in the
you're
middle
on.
of two Patriot
Nolan's
fans,
on the board with me on this one. Yeah, no,
make it up.
it was a fantastic game though. Like
Oh, yeah.
I think even Patriots fans can admit that was a fantastic football game. Like from the beginning, there was just lots of scoring, lots of
track meet.
It was a track meet, but are you surprised by the lack of defense shown by ultimately both teams? But I mean, the Eagles kind of came up with a couple stops at the end. But what do you feel like? What do you think, Colin? Like I couldn't believe that.
Nick Foles played unreal, to be honest. And Brady had a big game too. Like, don't forget about that.
It's unbelievable. Brady had like a fantastic quarterbacking game. You can't blame him for this loss. Like this is not on him.
His great career. That was one of his top games, but they didn't get the finish they wanted.
Yeah, I don't know. And of course, like we're gonna have to hear about it as Patriots fans for the end of time that Philly uses the quarterback sneak kind of trick play
Oh,
with
yeah.
Foles, and it actually works, and Brady
And
can't make a catch.
Oh, hits him right in the hands, and he just.
He's 40 years old. What do you want? He runs like he's never been a strong runner.
He runs like Phoebe from Friends.
Yeah.
That's how he runs.
Yes,
He
that's a
runs like
fantastic
a man who has
reference.
never ran before.
That
in
is
his
a
life.
great reference. Oh man, yeah, no, it got ugly. It got ugly at the end. A little bit sad for us Patriots fans, but I mean, congratulations to Philly. Congratulations to their fans finally getting a Super Bowl. I hope you enjoyed burning down your town.
Yeah, congratulations to the people cleaning up the city too.
Okay, quick question to you guys. If you guys lived in Philly, would you partake in the riots and all of that stuff?
I'd
Because
be gone out of town.
I think that I probably would. And everybody I've asked is like, no, I'm not trying to die. But like,
I don't think I'd riot per se.
I'd be
But,
gone
like,
out of town.
if you tell me like, I don't know, it's hard because we don't live in Toronto, so I don't think the same thing would happen. But like, if the Raptors won a title, like I would want to be at that parade. I would want to be there with a
Oh, yeah.
a
Yeah,
but there
Coors
wouldn't
Light
be
in
a
my hand
riot.
if it's going
Yeah.
sponsored by the Raptors. But I would want to be there with a beer in my hand. I would want to be enjoying that moment and taking part in that scene. But in terms of like looking
Philly is a
around and
different
seeing
beast, though, than
people
Toronto.
throw chairs through storefronts and whatever else and climbing poles. Like, I don't want to do that. Like, I just want to walk around, drink beer, and see a bunch of other people who cheer for the same team that I do and are having fun. Like,
Well, I
Right.
couldn't see Toronto rioting if they won. I could see them, like, it would be a great party and stuff, but I can see them.
see, I don't think they
Right.
would because, I mean, we've already seen TFC, who has probably the craziest fans of all the like teams in Toronto.
Leafs fans are pretty crazy.
They're
I-
crazy, but I don't think they're like soccer fans are another
They're desperate,
level.
Though.
Okay,
Toronto's the Leafs are the Toronto team, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, I think that if the Leafs lost, because in Philly
Yeah.
it didn't matter if they won or lost, it's like the exact same reaction probably would have happened. They destroyed
Yeah.
their town. But I think that if the Leafs were to win the Stanley Cup, then there would be less rioting and more just celebrating.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if they lost, it could get pretty bad.
Yeah, it could get ugly. I think. I don't think it could get. I don't think it would get Vancouver levels of
Yeah,
ugly
that's
though.
just-
No, that was bad.
I think it would just be lots of drunken sadness and stupid things.
Yeah, I would.
People would see like a Leafs storefront flag or something, and they would rip it down. Be like, I hate this team, so miserable.
I would be getting in some fights for sure with guys way bigger than me if I was in Toronto and the Leafs lost.
Yeah, I think. I always laugh because like the first time I ever thought about like a sports like fan base rioting, I always think of like Buffalo actually winning the cup in Bruce Almighty. Because Jim Carrey like answers, he's from Buffalo, like that's the movie set in Buffalo, and he answers a prayer for the Sabres to win the cup, and they do, and Buffalo like just goes off the chain and like destroys the town, and like I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think Buffalo fans would probably do it. Like Bills Mafia,
Dude,
Bills Mafia.
Bill's Mafia is crazy.
like Sabres fans are a little bit different than Bills Mafia, but I think if it came down to it, I feel like Buffalo would show its true colors.
Oh, if the Sabres made the playoffs, then those Bills Mafia fans start watching hockey and they'd get right into it. I could see it downtown Buffalo. They're having tables out on the
Dude,
sidewalks.
if I lived in Buffalo, I would have broken several tables by now. I would jump off a car and break
It's
the
the
table.
mob mentality. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Boss.
Yeah, it just makes you act crazy. Yeah, so great Super Bowl. Sad for us Patriot fans, but there's
Great
always
for
next
the
year.
Eagles.
Great for the Eagles. Good luck with your Broncos next year, buddy.
Oh yeah,
You
we
gotta
get
figure out-
Cousins. Cousins is coming to Denver.
That's a
I
hot
got
take.
it all planned out.
He's got a hot take over there.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's hit the Motorsport Minute quick, actually. Let's get that out of the way. So,
What do we got here?
So Nolan, you're new to this. So the way the Motorsport Minute works is apparently nobody wants to hear talk of auto racing, NASCAR, Formula One, IndyCar. So I try to recap all the major stories happening in the world of motorsport in a minute. And it's hard. And I actually didn't do any prep for this today, so we're going to just wing it. Good luck. Whoops, I'm typing on the wrong keyboard. This is just fantastic podcasting right now.
Hey John, what's your favorite part of motorsports? Is it the part where they
Left
go
turn.
in a circle?
Well, smartass, they only go in circles in like NASCAR and in American motorsports. But if you watch like F1, they go left and right. And actually, NASCAR does have a couple
okay.
road. They have 3 road races this year.
Got a question for you too.
Well, yeah, here we go. What?
Are you good at making left turns?
I am fantastic at a left turn.
Alright.
I make a left turn like nobody's business.
Okay, maybe I'm gonna sound really ignorant, but like, what is the scouting on these guys? Is it like, oh, this guy right here really knows how to handle his right turns? And
Well, it's like it's equipment. It's like you actually, when you go to look at like a young driver, it's usually on like a dirt track or like a small short track, and the idea is that you watch for car control and you watch guys that your car, the looser your car is, so the more like out of control it is, usually the faster it is. So guys who have really good car control and can make it work, they're usually faster, and that's what you want at the end of the day as like a driver. So I think I'm good to hit it. Are you gonna time it?
I
there,
got it.
Colin.
Yeah.
Are you actually gonna put like a little alarm on the end of the timer? Yeah? No? Are we actually
yeah,
gonna
I
get some
got
sound effect, or am I gonna have to pretend to put it in
Oh
again?
no, I got it.
Okay.
That's
All
just
right.
so no one texts me during that.
You're gonna watch. You're gonna turn it off, and there's gonna be no. You're not gonna hear any text messages, but you're gonna not hear the ringer also. But whatever. I'm ready.
Ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1.
All right, so the unofficial start of the NASCAR season happened this weekend with Daytona 500 pole day qualifying and the Advanced Auto Parts Clash at Daytona. So the pole was won by Alex Bowman, who took over the 88 car from Dale Earnhardt Jr. after Dale Earnhardt Jr. retired. A really good story for him. He was working as Hendrick's test driver and simulator driver, and now is graduated up to working as the actual race car driver. That's great. In the Clash, we saw Brad Keselowski in the number 2 Miller Lite Ford. He took it home, held on in the last lap. There's kind of basically a Penske army at the front with Blaney and Logano behind him. Big wreck on the final lap, took out pretty much half the field, and nobody really was able to make a move. These new setups at Daytona are a little bit more aggressive, and
yeah.
I ran out of time.
Thank God.
Oh yeah, whatever, Nolan. Anyways, Daytona 500 is coming up this weekend on the Sunday. I believe it's at 2 p.m. green flag.
John, you had your minute, okay?
Whatever, I
60th
gotta promote.
already, eh?
Yeah, it's 60th Daytona 500. Big year.
Great
Big year.
American race.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll recap that on the next podcast in my Motorsport Minute. It's hard, man. It's hard to try to get all your stories in a minute. I guess we got to talk about, too, we're in the middle of the Olympics, boys. I don't know how much anybody's been able to watch because they're on the other side of the world, so... I felt lucky because I work a job that keeps me stationed at a bar 2 a.m. to 10:30 every night. So I was basically watching all the events live. I guess the big story is so far Canada's got a pretty decent medal haul so far. In snowboarding, we got silver and bronze with Max Perot and Mark McMorris made his big comeback to get a bronze.
Yeah, that's actually crazy.
I mean, like literally 11 months ago, the guy was basically on life
He almost
support.
died. Yeah.
Like after a huge accident, and the year before he broke his femur. So he's been through some injuries since his last Olympics when he was I think bronze medaled as a 19-year-old or an 18-year-old maybe.
19, I
I
think.
think he was 19. Yeah. He put together a really good run. It was funny. His brother Craig McMorris, who was also a snowboarder, was actually the broadcaster for the games. And he was trying not to show his bias, but he made a good point in that the judges really. Mark put together a really technical run as a snowboarder, and in the slopestyle event, and the technicality kind of cost him some cleanness on his landings and in terms of his actual run. But because it was a more technical run, Craig kind of thought maybe it should have been scored higher versus Redmond from the U.S., who I think he didn't really do as technical of a run, but still won gold because he was just so smooth and so clean. And Max Perot actually put on a very solid silver medal run, too, for Canada. I think we got gold in team free skating or figure skating last night.
Yeah, and then somebody in the moguls, right? Someone. We have two
we're going to
golds.
welcome back in.
Here he is. Ready?
Back fresh
There
from his
he is.
test.
Freshman said I butchered that,
What, dude? You have to say 4 words.
and I said 4 words, but then I didn't turn the mic off before I started talking.
This
Like
is
a
why you're not
simple
producing
kid.
the podcast.
Dude, yours cut out. Why are you talking? But you're not doing a great job either.
You know what?
Let him go.
We made it
Let's let
work.
him go.
We made it work. Motormouth,
Yeah,
we
made
were
it
having
work by
really good
starting over.
podcasting
Yeah,
before you showed up
Motormouth.
again.
Motormouth, that's what they're calling me.
Yeah, Motormouth.
I don't know so much
Oh,
about
he's
that.
got
Sam
two names
Motormouth
now.
Weller.
I don't get to hear myself anymore.
No, you don't.
No.
But we don't really want you to talk anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry,
Ooh.
guys.
Unless you have some thoughts on the Olympics. You missed the Motorsport Minute. You missed
Why
some
would
other
I
talk.
care about the Olympics?
Wow.
Oh, here we go.
Hot take.
Here we go.
You don't care that Canada is
No.
doing
Well,
excellent.
you know Canada's the only country that cares about the Winter Olympics anyways.
Not
No,
true.
you know.
I think that's very
Not
true.
true.
I don't know.
Yes, Russia?
Russia.
Norway's
yes.
on top of the
Dude,
medal standings right now.
Yeah,
you?
look at the
Canada is.
Scandinavian
No, Germany
countries.
is.
Yeah.
The Scandinavian countries are going
Germany.
nuts.
Russia
Norway.
cared enough to have the
Holy.
government
Steroids
giving
up their athletes.
steroids
Yeah.
to all their athletes.
Are you sure that's not for that? That wasn't for because of the Summer Olympics, Summer Games?
No, it's
Or was that for the Winter?
No, that was for the Winter Games as well.
Did they
There's-
have the hockey players juicing too? No, that would have been a bigger story if it was like. Well, I was a huge.
Well, that would have been
No,
huge
no.
story because they were
big story
NHLers.
here though. Yeah.
Like I don't.
Well, the guys that play in the Russian league, I guess, like the K, then they'll do that.
Yeah, you think they care about drugs in Russia? No, they're juicing up their players. They want it to be bigger than the NHL.
Their drug testing is, do you take drugs?
no.
No.
Just
No.
vodka.
Just vodka.
God, that was such a corny joke. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Get out of here,
Seven.
man.
Get out of here. You're cut.
Cut.
You're cut.
Yeah.
Anyways, Germany is atop the medal standings.
For
They got
gold,
four
for
for gold.
Total.
Total, it
Norway.
is Norway at 9.
Oh darn! They passed Canada. I thought last time I checked
Canada-
it was Canada.
Canada's got 7 total.
Canada's got 7 total, which is pretty impressive actually. They're having quite a medal haul. As long as they finish ahead of the U.S., I'm usually pretty
Yeah.
happy. That's my goal.
Hockey's a big one for me. As long as they finish ahead of the U.S. in hockey.
I'm
Yeah,
not
we'll
even
see
gonna
what
watch
happens
it.
with no
You think I'm waking
NHLers.
up
Yeah,
at
the
3
hot-
o'clock in the morning
yeah.
to watch like
I'll watch the gold
the
medal
Spangler
game.
Cup? No, I'm not doing that.
No, I think.
Well, I guess I'll watch the gold medal game. I'm not watching any of the
See, I think
prelims.
most of the men's games, I think the way it's going to work out, because their like late night games would start around, I think like 6 a.m. our time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's 6. I think.
so we should probably be able to get most of the Canadian men's games. I think they would be smart enough to put those in prime time,
When
Korea time.
we were at the bar earlier and they were playing the
Yeah, there was the women's.
the women's Sweden game against who was it? Germany?
Yeah.
Korea.
Oh, Korea. Yes.
Korea.
Sweden won that.
I don't know how I got those two confused. Those are
yeah, those are
absolutely
very-
polar opposites.
Yep. But
Was that a rerun?
I don't know if it was a rerun,
What
was it?
time is it in Korea?
Well, we were there. It was like
we
when I
got
was
there right
texting
after
you.
class, so it was
Right
around
after
noon.
class, yeah,
I must have been a
It was
rerun.
close to. We left
Must have
before
been
the
a
class
rerun.
even ended.
Yeah, it must have been a rerun.
I would watch a
assume.
Canada game at that time. Like,
Yeah,
why not?
for sure.
I'm
Why-
not-
It's like when the World Juniors were on, like, would be in like a Sweden, and then you wake up at like 8 a.m. and there'd be like a Canada game on. You're like, oh yeah, this is sick.
I would much rather get a snooze on than watch the Spangler Cup. Is what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah. You keep
It's
referring
kinda-
to the Spangler Cup
This
team.
isn't the Spangler Cup.
It's the
It's
Olympics,
not.
but it's
It's not the Spangler Cup. Hey, they got some solid
that
former
yes?
NHLers.
Yeah, is
Derek Roy.
Hey, Rick
Is it-
Nash
is
played
it-
in the Spangler Cup one year.
did he?
Is it lockout year?
Yeah.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Chris Kelly.
Duchesne did that one year.
Really?
But I'm talking like on this
yeah,
team.
yeah.
Chris Kelly's on this team.
Yeah.
Ben Scrivens.
Scrivens.
captain.
Scribbles.
He's the starter.
That's right.
He's the starter.
Yeah.
Chris Bork.
Nope.
No, Rene Bork.
Renee- yeah.
There you go. Wow.
Chris Bork.
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 Yeah, I think we'll keep tracking the Olympics. Keep an eye on Canada. Hopefully, your medal count starts rising.
I love Russia's name in the Olympics.
Yeah,
that's
Olympic
how we are.
athletes
Fake
of
Russia?
Russia.
Fake Russia? That's
Fake
what they should
Russia.
have called it.
Yeah, they should have just called it the fake Russia.
Fake
Country
Russia.
formerly known as Russia.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
the
like
artist
Prince.
formerly known as Russia. I love it. Look at the Republic of Korea too, with their one gold medal.
Big fan of Republic of Korea.
Yeah, look at them
I'm
go.
rooting for them in the war. Sorry, I don't.
Holy.
It's a questionable
Next
Oh, that's
subject.
yours, by the way.
You're full of hot takes over there today.
Well, they haven't even started the war. It's fine.
All right, let's move away from before we start an international catastrophe.
I don't think.
Let's end on
Jamie's listening to
a
this one.
sad but happy note. Baseball.
Yeah, Roy Halladay.
Roy Halladay is going to be honored on opening day for the Blue Jays.
Breaking
with-
news: Roy Halladay died.
Well, they're wearing the patch on his
You're
jersey.
not
too.
breaking that
We're not
right on this podcast.
This is a End2End podcast exclusive.
Yeah, he's been gone for a while, buddy.
I know.
You're irrelevant. Sam's making
This
this
guy's
joke.
such a
This
This guy's such an
idiot.
idiot here. This guy's such an idiot here. I'm literally gonna have to find that and cut
I
that.
know that, you pigeon.
We have
I
Phil Kessel breaking the news that Roy Halladay just died right now on February the 12th, 2018.
in a
Kessel.
boating
Bill
accident.
Kessel.
In a boating accident. Okay, now okay.
Now we're cooking. Not a boating accident. It was a plane crash.
Anyways,
It wasn't commercial. Though.
Colin, how do you feel as a
No, that was
massive
Halladay.
Jays fan?
I think
Oh, yeah,
that's-
no, that was-
It's
yeah,
a real
yeah.
big honor that they're gonna
Retire his number.
and put the number on their
On the
jerseys too.
patch.
They're gonna wear the patch. That's right on.
That actually reminds me, Mr.
real honor.
I in Detroit. When are they gonna take that off? Or did they already?
No, I
No,
like
they're gonna
it. They
keep it
have
on. Yeah, they should keep it on.
Yeah,
like
I
he's
like
been
it.
their own.
Oh my
like
God.
he's made their franchise.
Yeah, I
He's
know that's
25
cool and
straight
all,
years
but
in
it's
the
like, how long has
playoffs.
it been now? It's been like over a year, hasn't it?
Just over.
Give it a rest.
February something. Come on.
Well, I think that
the guy's a Detroit legend. Like he literally made.
he
the
literally
Red Wings
owns
good.
everything in Detroit. Like
Yeah,
he owned
the
the
Red Wings
Tigers through all
Little
those struggles.
Caesars.
He owns Little Caesars.
And look at the arena he
He's
brought
a great
him.
fella too. Or he
Didn't
was.
he pay
He
for
was.
like someone's?
Yeah, for the girl's rent. She moved to Detroit. No, he paid for her rent.
Look at that. Good
Well,
man.
he owns-
Good man,
he-
Mr. I.
He owns the Detroit Tigers and Red Wings, so of course he can pay my rent and your rent and his rent if he
Yeah, but
wants
he
to.
didn't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So can any other rich guy.
yeah,
So could the owner of Mohawk.
that's like him dropping. That's like us dropping $5 on the ground by accident one day, and then being
How
too
is
fat
that-
and lazy to pick it up.
Sam, this isn't lining
That's
up
a
here.
that is an analogy. His rent for a year for me is like dropping $5 on the ground. But you know,
Yeah,
whatever.
and do you want to drop $5 on the ground? Of course not.
No, but you know, if it happens, it's not gonna like ruin my day.
Okay, can we
Can we just talk about baseball? Can we just talk about
training.
baseball?
Spring training.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers report today, I think.
Yeah, today. They've been
Um,
there all week. Though. Like they've been there last week too.
And
yeah,
Chicago makes the
officially
biggest move of the offseason, signing Yu Darvish.
yeah, that's a big signing. For
I
them.
like that. I like the Cubs going after a good pitcher. I think, especially if they don't bring back Arrieta.
Well, now they're legit again. Really.
Yeah, they are.
Darvish, I think, will put up better numbers than Arrieta.
Yeah, you think
That's
so?
my opinion. That's
Yeah, but what about the playoffs? What Darvish choked?
Cub-
He choked, big
that
time.
Was, that was last year.
He's done it a couple times though. He's proven that he can't be a performer in the playoffs. Was he not? He choked against the Jays multiple times.
Yeah, but the Jays had the order.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. Like, okay, so I'll give you the Jays had a nightmare of an order, but do you like?
Astros were tough too.
I guess the Astros had
The
just as
Astros
good a
order
lineup.
last year is better than the Jays order.
I know Jays were murderers row though that one year. The first year when Tulo was actually cooking and Edwin and Donaldson and everybody was just
Yeah.
cooking. It was, and then Kansas City comes up and stifles us. I'm still a little bit bitter about that.
Yeah, then they signed Goins.
Yeah,
That's like
yeah, Kansas City.
Kansas
Thank
City
you.
signed Goins?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kansas took Goins.
1 year, right?
I think so. Just a year to prove himself, basically. But I mean, I liked Goins. I thought he was a
yeah, he's
great
great
replacement.
defensively.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a great bat on him though.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the way this league goes. I find like look at Kevin Pillar. Kevin Pillar is a spectacular outfielder, but he's not that. He's not a
bats
great.
aren't very good.
No.
He can hit better than Goins.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
You wouldn't.
He can hit enough
You
to
wouldn't
justify being an
call him a
overpay.
liability in that region, though.
Yeah.
Like he hits enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think this Jays team is going to be a struggle this year. And
Travis has to be
It's gonna be a
healthy.
disaster again.
yeah, and
Oh, they'll be. I think. they're
what
back
about
to really
did you see the report from? Well, it wasn't even a report. It was just Josh Donaldson took to Twitter to
That tweet.
to I think he was going after was it Rosenthal?
John Heyman.
John Heyman. So he goes after John Heyman, who's reporting that Donaldson wants this much money and the Jays are at the stalling point and everything else, and they're reporting all about it. And Donaldson basically takes to Twitter to say to Heyman, "Hey, I haven't asked for any specific money because I haven't seen an offer yet, so I don't have a counter right now. I don't know what I want."
Where do these
Broke
insiders?
my heart.
Where do the insiders get the reports for that, and then they get it so wrong? Like
I know.
obviously, I believe Donaldson, but
Like, can you imagine
where
he's
did he
walking
get
around?
that? Then he didn't get it from
Wake up one morning.
the Jays, and he didn't get it from Donaldson. Like,
Well,
why
can
is
you
he just
imagine
making
being
that
like
up?
having that? Like, that's what insiders do, though. Can you imagine being any other position in the world where you can just walk up, like you're being a doctor, and you're like, you know what? Actually, I think you have cancer. It looks like you've got cancer. We're hearing reports that you have cancer, and then like you come back. The doctor comes back like 10 minutes later. It's
Yeah,
like,
turns out
oh
you don't
nope,
have cancer.
it was actually false. My sources were
That's
incorrect.
that's what all of news is right now, though. It's break the first story.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's
It doesn't
get
matter.
it out there. Go.
Exactly, and
Other than that, it's like,
can you imagine that in any other field where you would be allowed to make false reports like that and just that's it?
A weatherman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but
weatherman's
weatherman,
the
they get a
ultimate.
pass.
They're the ultimate advisor who gets away with murder. Like, yeah, it's gonna rain today.
they can butcher
Well,
a
glad
report.
I took. Yeah,
I'm
don't
fine
know.
with it.
I don't know, man. We'll keep tracking as the off season starts. Still a lot of free agents left. Like those guys.
Hosmer, Martinez. Well, Martinez, Boris's agent, he met with Arizona
Oh, really? So
Saturday night, I believe.
they're gonna re-sign him. He's gonna go back to Arizona.
Arizona, what would you think of them then? They signed him.
I mean,
Pretty
what
darn
they were-
good last year, Greinke.
wild card team though. They ended up as a
Well, that's
wild
because
card
the
team.
Dodgers. That's because the Dodgers are like crazy.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers are going to step back, so I could see Arizona doing it. You just having a little side conversation over there?
Yeah, I don't know anything about baseball. I completely forgot Arizona even made the playoffs.
Yeah.
No, they're kind of sneaky.
Them in
good, eh?
Colorado.
Well, they had such a good record. It's just they got screwed because at their division.
Yeah, and Colorado was the other wild card team.
Yeah,
They're
they all
teams
three of
from the
them.
West.
All three of them won like almost. They all won 90
Giants
games.
too,
didn't they?
though. What do the Giants can do this year? Longoria, McCutcheon.
Yeah, I like the
Hunter
Giants. They're
Pence.
looking good. Cardinals look good.
Yeah, like this year the
The
National
NL
League's
is
gonna be crazy.
gross. It's a really good league. this
American
year.
League's two teams, I think. Cleveland too.
Yeah,
Cleveland, Boston, New York.
yeah, that's about it. I think that's all that really matters in the AL. I mean, I guess Houston's the
Yeah,
AL.
Houston's
Houston's probably gonna
Houston
get back to the World Series. I think again. I don't think Boston. Well, maybe
Well-
Yankees.
I don't know though, the pitching for Houston.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm interested to see how
Yeah.
the AL plays out this year. I know the Jays are probably not going to be a factor. I'm pretty pessimistic about it, but so we'll keep tracking that. Keep an eye on the baseball offseason. It has been a pleasure, boys.
Thanks for having me on.
The four of us.
Yeah, thank you.
That was a lot. There's a lot of voices. I'm going to have
Lot of
fun
fun.
editing this, Sam.
Come on, was this guy just swear
Show some
left, right,
class.
and center?
Yeah.
I said 2 swears. And go ahead and take. Why don't you just beep out the entire part about Korea?
No, because you know what? In the very first episode I did, we're going to recap this story. So when I was hosting with my buddy Eric Moss from back home, we were talking the NFL, and we were talking about Jacksonville, who ultimately I owe a big there, I swore.
Oh, there
I-
you swear.
Yeah,
Right? So it's
I
not so
owe a
bad.
big apology.
You have one less than me.
I guess. No,
Actually,
you
no,
got a
I
couple more. You
had
used 3 or 4, buddy.
There was 3.
All right.
I had 2 F words and an S word.
Maybe.
Make up his own
that's three.
rules, eh?
All right. Well,
When is that a rule? Yeah, so you have 2 less than me.
it's okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I put my foot in the mouth pretty bad because I was talking about how Jacksonville has just been a tire fire for years, and it turns out they make the AFC Championship, and there you go. Just hate myself. But whatever. So they actually put together a good year. But I was talking about how Florida as a whole is a gong show. But I was talking about this in the middle of Florida getting absolutely rocked by hurricanes. and basically
that is a
being
gong show.
yeah. So I'm just sitting there like, oh, it's really crappy. Like Florida sucks. Like the people there are crazy or whatever. And then I went, at least the weather's nice. In the
awesome.
In the middle of hurricane season, when they're getting hammered, I sit there and go, at least the weather's nice.
Break the tabloids.
People are literally like
John
losing their
Howe.
homes, like
You're
floods
losing your
across the
jobs.
states.
All right, boys. Did someone just piss their pants? It smells like absolute urine in here. Is that
That's
just
what
me?
happens when there's 4 of us in this room is a
Right.
shoebox.
I don't think you can accidentally piss your pants.
This room is a shoebox.
I think you would definitely
if
notice.
one of us ripped a fart right now, we would all be dead.
Yeah.
I've been definitely letting them, keeping them in my body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once I left
Boys,
my test, I
new
ripped one.
segment alert. Just 5 minutes. We all just throw out scorching hot takes.
Scorching hot
So
farts.
then, if any of nope,
Okay.
Nope.
well, that could be another segment.
Sam, you're not welcome back on the
Yeah,
spot. Nolan,
I'm
you're
sorry
gonna get
about
an
that.
invite back, but Sam, I don't know.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, well, I thought I was kind of entertaining.
We'll see.
You're gonna go
We'll see what the fan.
skyrocketing.
Anyway,
Fair and Scott.
so then if any,
Oh, Nolan, just say it. Nolan, get it out. Get it out.
all right, 5 minutes. We just throw out hot takes, and then if any of them happen in the future, we can just go back and just
Get to say I told you
just
so.
seem like
Oh, I got one for you there, Sam.
Why?
Wings beat the Leafs Sunday.
Why am I like the Joe from the bridge here? Why?
That's-
I'm not.
I'm
not.
hearing it all like.
Yeah, you're literally Don from downtown
Well,
Toronto.
I'm not saying like yeah. Okay, if the Leafs beat the Wings, it wouldn't shock anyone.
Yeah, but
So
The
me
Leaf-
saying the Leafs are gonna beat the Wings earlier is not
Yeah, but
really.
the Wings
that's
get
no
upset.
scalding
the Wings
take.
get upset him.
you don't even want the Wings to win.
Yeah,
I know I don't, but I want him to beat the Leafs.
All right.
Why?
So that's the hot take for the week. That Colin
We can make it
says.
that.
Colin says Detroit beats the Leafs on Sunday.
So does it have to be realistic, or can I just toss it a
And
scalding
also,
take?
Drew Doughty is coming to Toronto before the trade deadline.
No,
Like that's not gonna happen. But then, what if it did? Then I can be like,
Then you
"Look,
could be the guy
I
that
said
said
it.
Well, you just gotta
That's a
back that up
real
with that,
hot
though.
take, dude. I need some gloves to touch that take.
Oh yeah.
No
Yeah.
way.
All right.
Leafs
then
are winning the cup.
I like that. I like that segment. I think.
For the next 3 years.
Yeah,
Next
that's a
3
good
years straight.
segment.
Austin Matthews is winning the Hart next year, and the Vezina.
He's gonna win the
He's gonna win the
Vezina.
Adams.
He's gonna win the Adams too. Yeah.
Hot take, Austin Matthews there.
He's gonna win. He's
And
gonna win GM of the
MVP
league.
in the NBA. He's he's unreal.
Jack Adams.
Gonna replace Tom Brady, play quarterback for the Pats.
You're gonna start calling him the GOAT.
He's gonna be the highest
No.
paid NFL player of
Oh,
all
yeah.
time now.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The $1 billion
That's a new
contract.
signing, too.
Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't talk
100.
about that.
Yeah, we didn't even get to the Jimmy G news. But I mean, again, that just makes me sad as a Patriots fan. All right, we gotta wrap this gong show up, I think, before we get any further off the rails. It's been great having you guys. I don't know who's gonna be back with me next week. I might rotate some of the people out. I might not. I don't even know.
Are you ever gonna do a lonely edition?
I was gonna do a Lonely Edition this weekend, and then I just kind of forgot because I slept and didn't sleep. And then,
I'd love to give that a listen.
yeah, just me talking for 40 minutes of
Yeah.
sports.
You
Just
just going Scotty Mac style. And
yeah, I could do it. I could do the Scotty Mac. I could do it.
Get some calls in.
Yeah.
Lovely speaking voice on each other.
Oh,
Lovely
thank
speaking
you.
voice. Was that commercial you were in earlier?
Yeah, it was
was
a good take.
godlike.
It was a good take.
Yeah,
I
that was
liked it.
that was Carol level.
That was voice.
Oh, come on.
That was the voice of God.
Oh, don't give him that much credit. Are you
Oh,
out of your
come
mind?
on.
All right, post to post podcast.
All right,
I'm
let's wrap.
sweaty, boys.
Let's wrap this up before we get any hotter, any steamier, before Sam farts.
Why am I the one farting?
For
Thanks for having me on, John.
all right, does
Thanks,
anybody
John.
have? Wait,
Thanks for
It's been great on the post to post
Before we-
podcast. Thanks a lot.
before we wrap right up. Anybody social medias who wants where do we follow who? Nolan, do you have a place we can follow you?
Everything at Nolan Lounds.
Cool.
So yeah, try to spell that.
Yeah.
Nope, nothing for Sam. He wasn't
Sam
prepared.
gets no follows.
I don't give. Well, all right.
Well, no. he'll tweet out the link to the podcast, and so I'll just retweet it, and you'll find it. We'll find it. Figure it out. Colin?
Instagram, Colin Ward 1414.
And for me, jhow_24 on Instagram. On Twitter, it is the same thing, I believe, actually. Yeah, jhow_24. I like the
that was me.
consistency.
I feel like you could have had that memorized there.
It should be memorized. And also, don't forget to follow along on @End2End's podcast on Twitter, @End2End podcast on Instagram. That is getting created tonight.
Better get a follow.
What is
Yeah.
this end-to-end that you're talking about?
Podcast.
that
You're
most
on right
posts?
now.
Where are you? What do you think
that.
Ignite Radio is called? Do you think
Toronto
like
fan.
cool radio? Do you think Ignite is called Cool Radio or something like not?
Oh, I was thinking it was Flaming Radio.
Oh, it's Flaming Radio, eh? Yeah.
That's only when you're on, though.
Ooh.
Boom. All right.
All right. Sam's cut. Podcast over.
Thanks for having me on.
Bye.
Thanks,
This
John.
has been the End2End podcast. We'll see you on the other end.